The following episode of Debate Amongst Friends will discuss adult content, violence, and gore. Listeners' discretion is advised.
Johnny, although it's sunny here in the great state of North Carolina, I know somewhere in the country it is dark, and that must mean Tuesday's edition is the dark side of the ring. We had XPW, Extreme Pro Wrestling, or Extreme Porn Wrestling?
Sure. Let's go with that.
So, as you know, Doc Leeson here, the podcasting beast from the East, with the Professor John Guy, the King of Anji, the Trollmaster, the Legend, the conqueror of his own fate. Yes, the Terminator. Oh, and by the way, he is the cleaner, but not even the cleaner could clean this crap.
I'm
How you
just
doing, Neba?
a humble wise man for my tribal chief, the podcasting beast, reigning, defending, undisputed podcasting champion of the world, Doc.
My guy.
Tranquilo el idolo, the Booker man himself. Doc, the penultimate episode of this season's Dark Side of the Ring. This whole season has been about extreme wrestling, death matches, thumbtacks, barbed wire, blood. This one dealing with sex. I mean, we kind of had the Grizzly Smith incident also happening. It's a lot that's happened. But Doc, of course, we always start these Dark Side of the Ring with the Doc interlude, his synopsis, his feelings about this episode. So Doc, I open the floor to you.
So, of course, as usual, Doc Leeson here. Such a casual, right? Such a casual fan. I had no idea. I mean, I'm pretty sure I heard inklings of XPW, but
everyone heard of it.
yeah, like I think the scaffold incident is kind of what, to me, kind of took it over, because I think we've heard the scaffolding incident previously. Obviously, with the rise over the last decade or 2 decades of death matches, right? The last 2 decades, I guess it would be. Just kind of goes to show like the dark side of the ring and how far guys are willing to put their bodies on the line for the likes of entertaining fans. And I think it's good that wrestling has calmed down, as at this particular point, wrestling fans are so casual that I think most of the spots that were done, although we'll get quick pop reactions, it would fizzle and fade out quickly. Kind of like what New Jack said at the end, where he said, "Yeah, XPW will get back in. People will be talking about it for a month or two, but there's not we're going down in history or nothing like that."
There's
But no, I
nothing
thought
revolutionary about it.
right, exactly. Really, the term scumbag, as you usually, coin the phrase, pointed at this guy right here, Doc Leesner, it really comes to mind. Like the whole show, the whole promotion screamed scumbag. Yeah, so it's like from the beginning,
I mean,
from the backstage,
the person who started it is
scumbag.
a scumbag.
I mean, no, granted, I get it. Like, hey, here's a guy saying, you know what? I want to do movies, but I want to do adult. I want to do adult entertainment. That's what you choose to do.
He was already a adult entertainment director.
Well,
before
no.
XPW started.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm just going back, just in case people haven't, don't know. Rob Black, Adult Entertainment. I'm gonna say guru, right? Somebody who's been in the business for a long time. That's a guru, right? You see him. The fact that they were showing, behind the scenes of the porn making in a Dark Side of the Ring, just let you know, like, it's a fine line, and then they kind of go into it a little deeper, like, the girls would be in a video and then have to go out and be a valet. It's like, yikes, people walking around butt naked, it's like, it's crazy. So of course Doc Leesner's sitting here like, what the bleep is going on here? Like, this makes ECW look,
Tame.
yes, like, I mean, ECW, this makes ECW look like a power company. Like, ECW probably could have outperformed WCW and been a powerhouse compared to XPW. But John, I mean, that's pretty much it. I thought it was wild, man. I thought it was crazy. But it's just a wild ride, a wild, wild ride.
Of course. Now, of course, there's two major stories that they was talking about throughout the whole episode.
Hmm.
Of course, Doc mentioned the New Jack incident with Buck Grimes. And then we have Messiah.
Yeah, we do have Messiah, which I, when I heard it, I was like, wait a minute, like, I wonder if Seth Rollins got a little, I mean, I don't know, I don't know if there's a correlation between their gimmicks, but it seemed
Mm,
eerily like weird because I was like, this Messiah thing kind of came out of nowhere with Seth Rollins, and he pulls it off very, very well. I mean, Seth Rollins did the Messiah thing. He did it very, very well. I didn't get a chance to see Messiah, of course, as much outside of in this video, but I mean, here's a guy who really tried to carry the company here.
yeah, he had all of the makings of being the ace of the promotion. Um, but
Wow, you had a golden opportunity there.
his beef with the Booker man himself all started from his first match, where he did what he was trained to do when taking a chair shot to the head and put his hand up to protect his skull.
I thought he didn't.
No, he did.
Okay, I thought he didn't. I thought the other guy did. Um, Luke, is it Luke Fox or something like
Yeah,
that?
Luke
Luke
Hawk. You're
Fox?
right. It was Ultra Boy.
Luke Hawk.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. Luke Hawk is the one. Yeah. So that's why.
No,
That's how
no,
the
no, no,
Messiah
no, no,
got.
no. Luke Hawks is the one who did the 450 splash onto the table with thumbtacks and had it like deeply embedded into his palm. That was Luke Hawk.
I think he took the. I think he was the one that got punished by Supreme also for putting the hand up. I think Messiah got the chair shot and didn't put his hand up, and that's why he became the Messiah.
That's what it was. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, because he didn't put his hand up, it kind of pushed. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Rob kind of got his rocks off a little bit on that one.
So he got his rocks off on a lot of things. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. This
But
is why we put the
so I
disclaimer,
thought you were
folks.
going straight for the fingers here.
Hmm.
I thought you were going straight for the thumbs.
No, not yet. We're not all thumbs yet, folks.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going when you said the Messiah incident.
No.
Um, but I think the writing on the wall when it started to go downhill to me is probably, I'm trying to think, man. There's so many things that just happened. I think when the episode started going downhill after the fire incident with Supreme. That's where
Yes.
it was. It was the fire scene, and they put the wrong fluid on the freaking table.
Yeah, they put
I
charcoal
would say
fluid on
that's when
instead
it.
of the lighter fluid.
Yeah, I would say that is the moment that the episode started to kind of turn. It was like XPW, they're putting on these death matches. We're
Doc,
seeing the
would you say that the
450.
episode took a dark turn?
Big time dark turn. It was the dark side of the episode. Like, I mean, because here we are, right? We got porn, we got wrestling, we got Rob Black, we got girls. We got the Attitude Era the Attitude Era unwrapped from any PC foil or PC covering, right? We're getting full on. I'm gonna put these things in your face. Attitude Error, right? You're getting full on, no buffers,
It was like peak.
no.
It was like the Attitude Era in a bottle towards the end of the actual Attitude Era in
Oh
WWE.
my god, it was almost like a prelude, right? Like here's what because the Attitude Era, I know, because the
It
Attitude Era is
ended
around the same
2003.
time.
Yeah, it was still happening, but it was on the
Okay,
downward.
so it's almost like the Attitude Era in WWE and ECW, right? That particular time period. This was like it was almost like they said, "Hey, what won't WWE do? Right? What won't ECW do? Let's see. What won't WCW do? Let's put all this together. Let's bring it to where the death match, right? I forget the other name of that company. The G was it
GCW.
GCW. So right, you got that. So it's like, what can we do differently and push the envelope? And it's like we got porn stars, which of course, you know, WWE, WCW, ECW, they had people from the industry kind of come on, but it was never like a staple, right? Like you had people doing Playboy here, people doing Playboy there, but it was
There were
like,
some people
no,
who did some porn that was stable in those companies.
of course, one or two though. We're talking about sprinkled. We're talking about this is plastered. this is
Yes.
this is like a part of the foundation. So
Yes.
yeah, so it was definitely rough, brother. It was definitely rough, but I would say that fire match is what kind of turned it over to a new leaf. We're taking this beyond Hell in a Cell. We're taking this beyond anything that WWE could do.
No, so we had something beyond the Hell in a Cell. The New
We had a
Jack
lot
and
going
Grimes. That was beyond the Hell in a Cell.
on, and I'm so and I'm I mean, and again, scumbags, right? Because what happens here? The guy sits there on tape and says, "I forged the insurance paperwork."
Who admits that? Like, yes, it was over 20 years ago, but who admits that?
I don't
Scumbag.
know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Like, not only was that, and then they got into more detail about the scaffold, which was completely rickety. And I'm kind of glad someone talked about that a little bit further. Because, of course, the only thing that people now see is just, the stun, the pickup, and the heave ho. Or as New Jack called it,
Yeah,
bombs away.
I mean, that was in another show, so we kind of saw it,
No,
right?
that was
That was
that.
that
No,
that.
that was the same show with the insurance. That was the exact same show.
No. I mean, we saw that in another episode with New Jack, right? We saw that
Yes.
incident. So luckily for me, that
Yeah, but
wasn't,
his
you know,
but
it was
his wasn't talking about the backstage and the creations of that monstrosity, if you want to call it that, death trap. Like he just talked about, I'm just here to get revenge because this dude almost killed me. And he talked about the coin flip, about who was going to take the dive, and he was like, "You could flip that coin 25 times, it ain't gonna matter. He's going off this tonight."
He taking time. He taking time. And I mean, it was so freaking close to the ropes, man. My God, like, um, ugh, ugh. And the way his leg bounced up, and
hmm
I was just, bro, like, this is too much, man. This is too much. But it only went downhill.
Doc
That's what I'm
had to
saying.
relive that moment again.
And I'm just like, bro, like, it's not worth it. Even I think it was like a sidewalk slam from the I don't even know if I won't say scaffold. It was lower than a scaffold, but it was like off of the balcony almost, like the upper
hmm
level. And I'm like, even that was rough. Even the front slam from that area, I was just like, bro, like, and Supreme was a part of a lot of these things.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing a Supreme Dark Side of the Ring now.
That's if they decide to do it, but that'd be a great one.
Yeah, because the way his nephew was talking about him, and the way a lot of people were talking about him, I think that would be one that I would want to see.
Of course.
If because I don't know if did he ever make it to, WWE? Did he ever make it to,
No. No.
what I'm saying? Like
No.
what happened with his career? Like what it is it
No.
that stuck him
He was more
at,
of a local legend kind of
local legend?
thing.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
even if he was like an enhancement talent for a night or two, you know what I'm saying? Like just to get
I
the
don't
rub
think
in his
so.
own, you know? No?
I don't think so.
Dang. All right, Johnny. So then, of course, we move on. Obviously, Messiah says, man, I think I'm about to call it quits, man. Right? Messiah said, I'm about to call it quits. Rob's like, yeah, me too. Let's do it together. Let's Thelma and Louise's thing.
Yeah, that was kind of
Right?
weird.
Yeah.
That was kind
Who
of
falls
weird.
for that? Okay, well, let's go out then with a bang, like and with a bang he did, right? Oh my God, like, so that's when it's weird. So you have Rob, right? He's got a wife who's obviously a former porn star, right? He obviously knows she slept with other guys, and I think it wasn't New Jack. I forget who it was who said it, but they were like, yeah, I think for Rob, it's okay if she sleeps with guys on camera, but off camera is a no-no,
I was gonna
which
say,
is weird.
I was gonna say, it's not so much as she sleep with other guys he has a problem with. It's when she sleeps with other guys that he does not approve of sleeping with. Is what the
And
problem is.
that's just so crazy. That's so crazy. And you know it too. You know it. It's crazy and you know it. So anyway, I mean,
Mm.
she is flirting with him, right? She's flirting with him, obviously. And I think he said it like people, like the girls looked at him like he was like a little puppy dog. He's young, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he
he's
got a fresh
22,
face.
23 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
And you got this girl like throwing herself at you pretty much based on the way the episode. I mean, no disrespect to her, but the way it's been said is like girls were throwing themselves at him, and it's like after a while of saying no, eventually a yes slips
yikes.
out of there. It happens.
Yikes.
You know what
Yikes.
I'm saying?
No, this is
It,
not going to turn to an R. Kelly thing, Doc. Move on.
no, no, well, they're of age. They're of age, so it's,
No,
it's
it was
different.
one of his. It's fine. Just keep it going. Just keep
Oh,
it going.
okay.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I
But
said,
essentially,
it's just one of those
it
things.
was like a game of chess between Lizzie and Rob. Lizzie is the female that Doc is talking
Yes.
about, and Messiah was in the middle of it. That's essentially what was
And
going
then,
on.
but it's crazy because he was sitting there scumbagging it, right? Tricking women into doing all kinds of stuff,
Okay.
right? Scumbag, right? Oh, this is gonna be on my next film. Let's just do this, right? It's gonna be on my next. There's no film. He just absolutely scumbagging it,
Exactly. And that
and he
siren
is.
It's foreshadowing.
Oh, scumbag alert. Oh yeah, big time. So he, so Messiah leaves, right? It's like, I'm not gonna run. You know who I am? I'm freaking Messiah, right? I'm young. Everybody, I didn't like the heat that he was getting. Like, I felt like the wrestlers were all like, "Why would he mess this up?" Like, bro, what the bleep are we talking about here? Like, he didn't
Yeah.
mess anything up. Like, all he did was, again, how many times do you have to say no before you just say, you know what? Forget it. I'm single. I'm young.
Yeah.
Listen, and honestly, if we're gonna be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's a very attractive woman, right? She was attractive. Like, it wasn't like she was ugly. Like, very attractive. And at that time in the 2000s, I mean, you think about wrestling. She's up. She was up there. But we, as casual fans, we ain't know nothing about that, right? So it's like, you're young, you're single, right? And you got a woman practically throwing herself at you, and you have the audacity to say no multiple times. And just, she's married, but this woman is throwing herself at you, and you break. And then these guys are like, "Oh yeah, man, he should have did." Bro, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. And I want everybody to know, I do not condone
Okay, I was gonna let you die on
extra.
that hill all by yourself too, Doc. I was
No,
like, I'm
I
gonna
know.
let you die on
I,
that hill.
and I will be on that hill. I get it, but I just know that in this situation with these open marriages, and this is why open marriages are tough, right? This is why they're tough, because feelings get involved and feelings get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But how can everybody else, all these other guys, like, man, he almost messed it up for everybody. And I'm just like, because no, that has nothing to do with wrestling at all. That's something personal that happens all the time, right? Men, we just had last week, Luna left her guy and went to another guy. Like, that happens all the time in
Things are
wrestling.
getting grow.
It just happens that he's the boss,
Of course.
right? So then, of course, we move on, right? He's at the show. Rob's livid. He's at a show. We had him making the promo about, him sleeping with the wife in
But let's not
public.
glance over the fact that I think we found the origin of the beach ball.
Yeah. See, I was thinking that it might have just been a moment where it might just have been that time. I didn't want to say it was origin because, I mean, it was
That's why I
there. It
say
was
it
very
might have been
weird.
the origin.
It might have been. Yes, that's possible. So then here we are. He's in the stage. We see the beach ball, right? Cameo. And, I don't know how he's in the wrap, he's in the nosebleeds. I don't know how you find out unless he took like some kind of picture or something. Or maybe he text somebody and they told him, but it's like, you need to leave. And then, they go on and they're like, oh, first of all, he's in his living room playing the game,
Resident Evil 4
and
on GameCube.
which which is awesome, which is very, very apropos. Very apropos. And I didn't know that. I didn't hear him say that. But so first of all, if two guys walk into my crib, I don't care what's going on. Pause. What's up, fellas? You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I got roommates. I don't care if got siblings. I don't care what's going on. I never turn my back on anyone because and I don't know if it's because we're from the quote
Yeah,
unquote hood,
it's because of that exactly. Actually, because I
because
was done the
I'm
same
sitting there, bro, like,
thing.
two guys walked into your crib and
Nah.
you just said, "What's up, guys?" Like those people that joined our party 2 weeks ago when we were playing the game.
Wow, you
No, what do
going
we
there?
do? Yes, I am. What? Nah, man. I don't talk to strangers. They're strangers. Stranger danger, son. Stranger danger. Ladies and gentlemen, do not take it. I don't care if they're white, black, Spanish. It don't matter who they are. Two people just walked into your crib. They didn't knock, right? They didn't ring the doorbell. Like, that's what the people would say is a red flag. Flag, bro. So they freaking then they have the nerve to say, "You get him." No, you get him,
The fact
bro.
that
You
the
ain't
fact
get.
that he heard them whisper that
Oh my god! Like I would have
just
cracked
shows
my remote over somebody's head.
how young and dumb he was. The fact that he could
I would have
hear it.
cracked. Oh, I would have cracked my remote over one of their heads. I mean, like if that's what I have in my hand.
The video game controller, the TV
Oh my
remote,
god!
the GameCube. I don't care.
Yes, he just. I would have. We would have got another
time,
GameCube.
at that time, it's fight or flight. And guess what, folks? Doc and Prof, we're fighting.
And the fact that he had a whole fishbowl that they cracked over his head, standing there, bro. You could have cracked that over there, like. Not what's up, guys.
I don't think it was within reaching distance for him, but I got.
No, I get it, but bro, pause. What's up, guys? Oh, what's the name is in the back. Whatever. But he loses a thumb, right? He loses a thumb, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely
they took the
nuts.
Thumb, which is even nuts.
More nuts. Yes, because he said he couldn't find it. So somebody out there has a thumb, which is nuts. They tried to get the other one. He fought back. Had to, had the possibility of getting one of the guys in an arm bar. I probably would have broke that arm real quick.
I would have definitely took my thumb. I would take your arm.
Exactly. The fact that he said I was in a chokehold, but it wasn't a chokehold, bro. Like, escape. It was not a chokehold. Escape.
Do something.
Like I'm sit like my car, like Ford. Escape, bro. Like, what are you doing? Right? So he loses a thumb. He goes to the hospital. Obviously, he can't find the thumb. He passes out, calls people up like, yo, they took my thumb. Two black guys took my thumb. Like, what the bleep? Everybody's like, oh, did Rob do it? Rob do it? Rob do it? Rob did it, bro. Like, there's no if. Like, you got to get his thumb.
I'm mad that they said it was two black guys, but then the cinematic shows it was two white guys. That was the funniest part.
Cinematically, it looked like AOP.
Yikes.
That's what it looked like. I was like, did AOP do this? Yikes. Right? So let's take a quick break so we can finish up Mr. Black. Because I don't want to skip past this last part. Let's take a quick break and we're going to get to Mr. Black.
Right after this.
And we're back. So, Mr. Black, I don't want to even go back into more details about what happened with the thumb because that doesn't even make any sense. Like, again. So then you got, I can't remember the lady's name. She was the merchandise person. And she was saying she had to leave after a month because everybody's making thumb jokes, like shaking hands with four fingers and stuff like that, which is nuts. New Jack's like, Rob, be real with me. Did you do that? And Rob's like, nah, I ain't had nothing to do with that. I ain't had nothing to do with that. And it's like, bro, like, that's crazy. But they did mention in the beginning that it was like a mafia type of or mob kind of feel or vibe that he was trying. I think that's what they said.
That's trying to give him.
It's not right. So obviously, Rob starts getting into trouble. Really, it's like Rob. I think Rob really looked up to Paul Heyman and what Paul Heyman did. And I think he tried to emulate some of his style based on the way he talked, based on some of the things that he said, based on how he lived some of his life. But the difference is that Paul genuinely loves wrestling.
Yes.
Rob genuinely, I think Rob genuinely liked wrestling, but I think in his mind, there was no such thing as kayfabe. And that's when we saw the whole idea with the chair shots. He wanted it to be real, right? This is death. This is deathmatch. You put your hand up and you take that chair shot, and that's when the guy, the Luke Hawk guy, got punished for putting his hands up, and then he got like 5 chair shots, but again by Supreme. Um, so then we kind of get to these legal matters where Rob Black versus the United States of America. Actually, before that, it was, did he do the thumb right? I mean, you know, was it FBI's Most Wanted or something like that? One of the criminal shows, which I didn't go
American
back
Most
and
Wanted.
watch. Yeah, I didn't go back and watch it, but that would be an interesting one to see. Um,
I think that's what got people
Also,
to want to know what the bleep was happening with this promotion, actually.
right, what's happening? Um, so then you have his adult entertainment. Again, pushing the envelope, I think, with the content. Like, it's one it's one thing, and I'll say it, like, I know Helen's probably gonna be like, Doc,
Oh,
we've been going through this for a couple of
she's been
years, right?
sitting outside the studio this whole time, tapping her foot at you. So,
We're gonna put the explicit on this one, right? So it's one thing to have, like, or to show rough sex, right? It's one thing, and we've talked about that off stream, like, we've talked about it. It's one thing, but it's like you can't show that because there are some people who, like wrestling, believe that pornography is real. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are some people who believe that, and there are some people who believe that that's how women like to have sex. So it's like similar to, hey, don't try this wrestling at home. Hey, don't try this sexual activity at home. This is not real. Do you understand what I'm saying here, Johnny?
go on.
So the US government's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're showing people getting, threatened and kidnapped and raped, and like, hold the phone. And he's like, whoa, 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 I got this, my amendments, right? I got these amendments, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of whatever, right? And they're like, whoa, 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 you you know, don't push the maybe, baby, right? To
He was
quote
on
Major Payne, don't push
Nightline.
the maybe.
He was on
Right.
Nightline.
Talking about, he said the only people that are going to be forced to watch this are the 12 jurors. Do you believe he said that crap? That's so crazy. Like, I get what he's trying to say. Like, people don't have to watch his videos. I get it. But it's like, again, for those people who do watch it, you're potentially, and I'm not giving them an out or scapegoat, but you're potentially creating rapists. Like, it's possible. Like, it's possible. Like, you don't think about it, but like, just think about how many people have been put in a wrestling move. I know I've been put in wrestling moves. I put people in wrestling moves. You see it on TV. Oh my God! Look at that sharpshooter. Look at that Texas cloverleaf. Look at that torture rack. Right?
No, I would never have anyone put me in a torture rack. Ever.
But you get what I'm saying, though. Like a little
All it takes
bear
is
hug.
someone decides they want to be cocky.
Right. And one quick, misstep, and you can't feel anything anymore, unfortunately. But again, do not try this at home. So, how many people out there, right? And I watched a video once, and it's so funny because it's coming back. I'm being very careful. I know. I watched a video once, and it was Dr. Miles Monroe, right? Dr. Miles Monroe said, how many people learned about sex from their parents, right? And one or two people, right? In a room full of men. How many people learned about sex through, school? Oh, a couple people. How many people learned about sex through pornography? Oh my God, the number of hands that went up. So here you got 60 something percent of the men in the room who've learned some form of sex through pornography,
I
bro.
really hope it
And then
wasn't
you got
69.
no, it was 60
Okay.
geeky. But here we go. We got 60 something percent of guys in a room who've learned about sex through some type of pornography. And then even if you say 30% of that 60 watched his film as their first pornographic experience, that, sir, is the sexual activity that they're putting in their brains like, hey, this is how it's supposed to be done. And you just can't have that. Just can't do it.
Nope.
Let's quote Mike Singletary. Just can't do it. Can't play with him. Can't coach with him. Can't do it.
Yikes.
So the U.S. government obviously won to drain him of his money. You know, his checks are bouncing left and right. I won't make any jokes
Nope.
about bouncing left and right. I could have though. You know, the
Nope.
opening was there.
Nope. Don't do it.
Um,
You're probably
yeah,
already on thin line with that one right now. You gotta keep towing that line.
drag the toe, just drag the toe, just tap it in. But no, so he's out, checks are bouncing, wrestlers are leaving, and it's the end. You know what I'm saying? It's over, right? So I just don't understand. And obviously, a lot of those guys go on to, other independent circuits, and the show's over. Like, and they end. And I love how Vice ends the shows. Like they end it with a clip from behind the scenes, like with him saying they stabbed me in the back. And
Yep.
it's like, no, you stabbed yourself in the front. Like you stabbed yourself. This is self-inflicted.
Rob Black screwed Rob Black.
Black screwed Rob Black. If there was ever a way to say, I know you heard this podcast on your favorite podcast platform, it's Rob Black screwed Rob Black. But Johnny, I do know that the people heard this podcast on their
Oh wait,
favorite podcast
we have to
platform.
mention next week is the finale of
The
season 3.
season, which is crazy because this was Attitude Error on steroids.
And it's apropos that is ending with the steroids trial. So we have something that ended in legal matters going into a huge thing that was a legal matter. Something that changed the course of wrestling forever, at least within the public
absolutely.
eye.
Exactly. So as the person, which I believe is, I want to say it's Bison, but I could be wrong. It could have just been an announcer in Street Fighter would say, perfect.
Yeah, it wasn't Bison. It was just a random guy.
I didn't think so.
No.
Random guy saying it. That's
Yeah.
okay. Perfect. But I know that people heard this show on their favorite podcast platform. But if you didn't, you can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com, where you'll hear this episode as well as all the previous, including those scumbag ones. But be sure to tune in tomorrow as we go over Monday Night Football, where we had a showdown in Seattle. But be sure to tune in tomorrow as we're going to deliver the news, the analysis, and the reads.
Scumbags.